and it looks like it's going to have to be modified straight out of the packet. So what's unusual about that? Yep, I went back to the old intro. What can I say? I like it better. This is an ea11r Cappuccino rear differential. I thought I might just pull the back off this thing and see how big the gears actually are before I write it off as not being an option. So first things first, fill a plug. Right, now that that's loose, go for the drain plug. Drain plug looks good. Try and get as much oil out of this thing as I can so that when I open it up I don't end up with it all over the floor. Already started undoing the bolts in the back. Gonna need some more food trays, I think. I just want to see if this gear set will fit inside the front transmission, because if it does, well, then that opens the door to virtually anything there. I'm not sure exactly how far I'm going to pull this down. I've only got about 30 minutes to work on this before I have to be somewhere else. So I'll just pop it open, and not from there though. Oh yeah, there we go. Up that way. Yeah, that's it. Ready. Uh-oh, don't fall over. I don't know how much oil's in here. Oh my god, it's an LSD. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's also not as easy to get out as the carry diff. Wow, that gear set's much bigger. Okay, I'm going to call it as that's a no way. I need a smaller gear. Oh dear. At this point, I was still hoping that this gear would somehow fit into the front diff of the carry. That way I could just get another one for the rear and then call it done. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It seems like it's always, if only it was only two-wheel drive. Like, if this truck was two-wheel drive, my turbo placement right now would be fine. If it was only two-wheel drive, then I wouldn't need to worry about a front diff. But I do need to worry about a front diff, and this one is not going to work in the front. This will work in the back though, I think. But I'm not sure whether this is the ratio I want to run with anyway. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 8 bolt. And I'm counting these bolts holding this gear on. Why is that significant? Because there are two different diff centers for the carry truck. There is an 8-bolt type and there is a 10-bolt type. Now, I can't remember which one is in the turbo and which one is in the NA version, but they are not interchangeable. Because of this, I cannot buy my rear LSD until I decide which gear set I'm going to run. Because if I get a 10-bolt and then decide that I want to use Cappuccino gears, well, that's just not going to work. I'll have to buy a different LSD. And at about $800 each, I don't think I want to buy two of them, especially when one of them will not be used. Well, that was a short-lived dream. I wonder if there's any way that I could get that in the front of the carry truck. Just put the whole freaking diff in there. Look at the size difference. That's fairly substantially different. Oh wait a minute, that's only half of it. It's to here. Well, it's not that different, is it? lengthwise, let's see, how different actually is it? We go off where the drive shaft is going to be. I'm not switching drive shafts. I'm not going to make custom drive shaft. So, yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, look at the size difference. Massive teeth on this one. Worlds apart. Is there any way I could modify the housing to fit it? Modify the housing of this, weld it. Modify the housing of that to fit this in it. The pinion's probably going to be longer, which will screw me. I'll have to do away with that, the selection, which I'm not really happy about having anyway. I don't want a locked front diff. I'm much happier if it was LSD. We have 2 bolt holes that line up. We do! There are 2 bolt holes that line up, but this is still going to be off. Width-wise. Width-wise looks to be very similar. I don't even know why I think this might work. Can I just pull them out? Do they just... Oh, they do. Alright. This. Oops. Oh, it fell down. Alright, so that's how you get those out. I'm feeling fairly game about this. I think the only way that I'm going to get a good diff in the front is if I make something. So I want to find out if these bearings fit in those races, or if the center shaft from here is the same as the center shaft from that, and I can use the bearings off that on this. And then figure out how much of that diff I need to cut to get this gear in here, because that's the ideal thing, isn't it, really? If those shafts are the same diameter, like this shaft here, if this is the same diameter as a carry one, well, I could just not use these and use the carry shafts in the CV joints anyway, sorry, the CV joints, feed them in. In fact, I might even be able to use Cappuccino ones in the front. What would that cause? Interesting. It's almost like I need a spare front end so I don't have to destroy the carry truck to do all this. But for those wondering at home, this diff is a spare. Carry truck's still in full working order. I just don't drive it because the gear ratios annoy me. Wait a minute, this might be actually an indication. Are they the same size? They are not. Somewhat of an indicator. That doesn't use the same sort of spline system in there. Or is it? Yes, it does. No, they're different. They're different. These are thicker, which would suggest that if I go down this route, then what I'm going to end up with is having to make custom ones of these, or custom drive shafts. This is all getting a bit much. Nothing fits. So recapping, we'd have to modify the housing to get the Cappuccino gears in there, and then we'd probably have to make CV shafts as well. However, thinking about it, if I was just to get the end that attaches to that thing, and then put that on one end and use the carry truck regular shaft on the other end, if that worked, then that's all I'd need to do, because the length would be correct. Maybe it wouldn't be that difficult. Right, so you watching? This is 3 pointing outwards, this is 2 pointing outwards. Gonna put you in there. I'm gonna put you. Geez, you stink. Did you just lift out? Yep. Oh, and there's bits of bearing and shit falling everywhere. Derp. Lovely. Okay. Well, you're a... Right. Derp. Do the races fit? No, they're too small. That's interesting. The races from these bearings are too small. And it doesn't fit in this housing, but it's fucking close. So I wonder if I could just... Oh wait, we're in. Hang on, are we in? No, we're not. Almost in. And that is all the footage I have on that. You be the judge. Will it fit? Won't it fit? I concluded that it won't. And not only the physical size, but the width is an issue. Now, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's not going to be easy. I also did a little bit more research and found another option. So stay tuned to find out what that was. That is the end of this episode. Thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe. I'm over 50 subscribers. Thanks very much to everyone. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next episode. Later.